Hi, 6-1-129, 98 in Siddhanta Comedy. Aplutavadupastite. Aplutavadupastite. I am drawn to this sutra partly because I am drawn to the two words. It consists of aplutavat and upastite. Aplutavat upastite. Now, aplutavat, what an interesting word. Pluta, okay, Pluta, we know that. And aplutavat, apluta would be non-pluta, no pluta. But aplutavat, what's going on with that? And I liked it even before I really grasped how intriguing that is. But aplutavat is as if not a pluta, meaning a pluta becomes as if it were not a pluta. Well, that's an interesting thought. Upastite, not a term I was really ever familiar with before. It's an anarsha iti shabda. Anarsha iti shabda. It's, as it was originally described to me as a non-Vedic iti. However, it is more interesting than that. And I imagine many of you know this much more deeply than I do because of my many limitations in the language and the grammar. But it applies specifically to iti used in Veda in the Padapataha, where it's used to demarcate different words in the Padapataha, which is fascinating to me. And again, I'm sure it's not at all news to many of you, but when you take the original Vedic text and break it into component words, we call Padapataha, that is no longer Veda. So this does not mean iti floating around, just as nasamase didn't mean any old compound. This is a very specific non-Vedic iti, which is really kind of a sub-Vedic iti. It's iti in the Padapataha of Veda. So I find both of these terms fascinating or interesting. So aplutavat upastite. Well, it isn't much more than that. Aplute saptami, aplute pare, purva aplutavat. Upastite pare, purva aplutavat. When an upastita follows, the preceding is as if it were not a pluta. So what does that get us? Well, we have an example here, and this is a straightforward example. So we have sushloka, or really sushloka iti. We have sushloka made pluta, so it's sushloka followed by iti, which we are given to understand is upastita. And therefore, it does not fall under pluta paragrahya achinityam, and therefore it does undergo sandhi, and we get sushloketi, and we get that because of 6.1.87, 69 in Siddhanta Comedy, and video number 80 in our conversations, ad gunaha. So when in any of its forms is followed by an ach, it's replaced ekaf purva parayoho antarivacha gunaha. And we've gone through all of how that works out and how you get A from A plus E. So far so good. Now, where it gets more intriguing, and I apologize in a sense, because I started out by supplying all of Prabhakar Shastri's commentary on this, and I eventually found out that it's actually originally, and there was no pretense that it wouldn't be, Siddhanta Kamadi. So we won't really have to go through all this, but I may put it in the notes just so you have it. So what's the deal with this? Well, this has to do with, it always starts with that comment that I enjoy so much, Vat Kim. Why Vat? Why Vat? Well, here's why Vat. If you had, and we have the example here, Agni iti, and again, we're taking this as Padapata and the iti as Upastita. If you had Agni iti, it poses an interesting dilemma, because Agni, before it made Pluta, is Dvivachana. And so by Sutra 1.111, which we can recall because we learned it, Idu de Dvivachana Pragrahyam. Idu de Dvivachanam Pragrahyam. A Dirga I, Dirga U, Dirga A in Dvivachana gets the name Pragrahya. So by Pluta Pragrahya Ichinityam, it stays the same. And this is Dvivachana. So Agni and Agni are the E of both of those gets the name, becomes Prakritya, unchanged, twice, because it is both Pragrihya from Idu de Dvivachana Pragrahyam, and it's Pluta, so by Pluta Pragrihya Chinityam, it gets Pratya. Now, problem arises when you have, this is where the Vat comes, because if the sutra was a Pluta Upastite, when an Upastita follows, there is no Pluta, well, that would be a problem, because the Pluta would be eliminated, but the E of Agni would still be Pragrihya because of Idu de Dvivachana Pragrihya. But what you would lose is the prolongation of the vowel, and so you would have Agni iti, but you need it to be Pluta length. So by this sutra, we get the Pluta length there without having it be disrupted, because it's a Pluta Vat, not a Pluta. So there's still the Pluta there, and there's also the Prakritya. So that's how it is. And the prolongation is not lost, and it all works out.